When I was 18 that summer, Leo took me to taste the forbidden fruit. I endured the pain but secretly felt happy the entire night, thinking that 6 years of silent admiration had finally borne fruit. Until the next day, I overheard his friends teasing, "Wow, the class beauty finally went all the way with you." I felt a bit embarrassed and was about to sneak away. Then I heard Leo's casual reply, "If I want to chase the school queen, I'm afraid she'll think I'm too inexperienced. So I'm practicing my skills with Alice first." I said nothing. Before the last moment, I quietly changed my university preference from Beijing to Guangzhou. Chapter 1. Leo's words struck me like a thunderclap out of a clear sky, catching me completely off guard. My mind went blank instantly. On this hot summer afternoon, I felt an icy chill all over. The chatter in the classroom continued. Some of them seemed stunned for a moment before speaking again. It had to be Leo, the class beauty was just practice material. Then she's basically like a concubine in an old wealthy family? Leo laughed it off. What nonsense. She's not the loser here. Others immediately chimed in. Yeah, the class beauty is a bit skinny. Compared to the school queen, her figure is. Leo threw a book at the guy to stop him. At the time, it was just an impulse. The atmosphere was like that. And honestly, I think she was holding in a lot of pain. Everyone got the hint and joked. Didn't expect the class beauty to be so shy and sultry. TSK. Leo's charm is too strong. Who would pass up the meat at his lips? The class beauty chased Leo for years. Finally got what she wanted, probably wanted to jump him for a long time. The laughter in the room grew louder. I bit my lip hard. Fists clenched tight. I used all my strength to keep standing, not to collapse at the classroom door. I heard footsteps approaching down the corridor. I snapped back to reality and fled in panic. Hiding in a bathroom stall, my tears of heartbreak and humiliation flowed endlessly. Chapter 2. Leo's words echoed in my mind, each one shattering my pride. If I hadn't heard it with my own ears, I wouldn't believe that the man who shared such intimate moments with me last night was the same person. Turns out, one can do such close things without love. At the most passionate and irrational moment, one can lie and deceive, foolishly thinking it was a true relationship, just a joke to others. I cried harder and harder, but I didn't dare to make a sound, my body shaking uncontrollably. After a long while, my phone buzzed. It was a message from Leo. "Take a taxi home yourself first. I have a class party tonight, so I can't give you a ride." I didn't reply. He added another message. "Remember to buy the morning after pill yourself. I'm busy today. Make sure to take it. Be good." I stared at these two messages for a long time, speechless. Yesterday, from dusk till dawn, Leo kept tormenting me again and again. By the end, both of us were utterly exhausted. Before he fell asleep holding me, he whispered twice, "I wasn't prepared enough the first time. Tomorrow I'll make sure to buy you the medicine." He even reminded me that girls must protect themselves, and taking the morning after pill is essential afterward, or it will seriously harm the body. At the time, I thought he was very responsible toward me. I finally thought I had found my happiness. But now, suddenly, I became much clearer-headed. I pinched the palm of my hand hard, forcing back the tears. I wiped my eyes, gathered myself, and walked out of the bathroom, too embarrassed to go to the pharmacy. I just ordered the pill online. After the delivery guy left it at the door, I waited a long time before daring to sneak it back inside. After swallowing the pill with tears, I felt like I had lost all my strength, just sitting on the carpet in a daze. Since moving next door to Leo's place, I had been like a little tail following him for 10 years. I never thought about what life without him would be like, nor dared to imagine it. But from now on, it was just me alone, outside the floor-to-ceiling window. The lights flickered on and off in sequence. After an unknown amount of time, my best friend Luna called me on video. "Alice, why didn't you come with Leo to our class party tonight?" "That Camila from the arts class did come though, while you were gone. She kept clinging to Leo. They're making a disgusting scene right now." Luna then turned the camera toward the direction of the scene. Chapter 3. In the dim corner of the private room, Leo sat close to the campus beauty Camila. Camila wore a cropped top and a tight denim skirt tonight, making her waist look even slimmer and her legs longer. The two of them were noticeably separated from the others. Even their conversations sounded like whispered secrets. Through the screen, you could almost feel the intense atmosphere of flirtation. My chest tightened uncontrollably. Leo had said this afternoon he wanted to pursue her. Looks like he caught up tonight. Camila boldly drew the game task, male on top, female on bottom push-ups, and needed a male partner. As expected, Leo immediately stood up. Everyone began to cheer. Camila blushed and obediently lay down on the sofa. Leo supported himself over her and did dozens of push-ups in one breath. He was very restrained throughout, trying hard not to touch Camila's body, until the last one. Whether because he was exhausted or on purpose, he lost his balance and fell directly on top of Camila. The screams around grew louder, almost lifting the ceiling. Leo and Camila's faces flushed even more. In the wild cheers, Leo bent down and kissed Camila. They kissed passionately as if no one else existed. The kiss lasted a full 3 minutes before they reluctantly parted. During those long 3 minutes, I stared blankly at the screen, almost forgetting to breathe. My heart was torn apart with sharp pain. I wanted to cry, but after crying so long in the afternoon without rehydrating, I had no tears left. Wow, Alice, did you see that? They're totally into each other. Luna sighed as she turned the camera and left the private room. She found a quiet corner and seriously advised me, Alice, don't blame me. If I hadn't let you see this with your own eyes, you wouldn't have given up. My throat was dry and hoarse, my voice barely audible. Yeah, I don't blame you. It was my own fault for being foolish for so many years. I thought the one allowed to always be by Leo's side was me. That position was mine forever. I just can't stand Leo. How could he pretend to be innocent knowing you liked him for so many years, yet keep you hooked like a boy playing a game, watching you sink deeper and deeper? You saw it just now. I really hope you think carefully and don't let him waste 4 years of your college life. I won't. Luna, I interrupted her and calmly stated, I won't give myself another chance. Luna, I've decided, I'm going with you to Guangzhou for college, but you have to promise to keep it a secret first. Chapter 4. After saying that, to stop doubting myself, I opened my laptop in front of her, without hesitation. Just before the deadline, I changed my first choice university to the well-known university in Guangzhou. Luna naturally was overjoyed, practically jumping for joy on the spot. She had been begging me to apply to the same university for a long time, but when I first entered high school, Leo and I had agreed to work hard together and go hand in hand to Beijing after the college entrance exam. That was where his lifelong dream of studying aviation was. So even though I didn't particularly like the cold north, and felt no connection to that science and technology school, I still kept that as my goal for 3 years of high school. After years of being neighbors, both families welcomed the idea of us attending the same university. Everyone, including me, thought that Leo and I would naturally become a couple once we became adults. But now, I couldn't find any reason to go to Beijing anymore. Or rather, after today, if I still cling to Leo like before, I would despise myself. Now, I just want to hide far away. Anywhere is fine, as long as it's without Leo. He's in the north, so I'll go south. Chapter 5. Before going to bed, I filled a whole bathtub, wanting to wash myself completely clean. But even after taking off my clothes, the bruises on my skin were still obvious. Last night's memories uncontrollably flooded back. The burning warmth of his youthful skin when tightly embraced, the heated breath by my ear when moved, the afterglow seemed to still linger around. I shook my head violently, trying to shake off this absurdity. Then I found the roughest scrub towel and scrubbed my skin over and over until it turned red all over, trying awkwardly to erase this most shameful memory in my life. The result was that I couldn't sleep well all night because of the pain. Leo, of course, didn't send any messages afterward, breaking the habit of saying goodnight to each other every day for 6 years since we had phones. That was fine. The day was bound to come sooner or later, so I decided to quit from tonight. I drifted in and out of sleep until nearly dawn. In the early morning, while still deeply asleep, I suddenly felt someone gently kiss my forehead in my dream. Chapter 6. I woke up with a start. When I opened my eyes, I saw a familiar chin and Adam's apple. The scent surrounding above me was Leo's favorite cedarwood, mixed with a faint, unfamiliar hint of lemon. Almost forgot, Leo always knew the password to my front door. Seeing that I was awake, Leo lowered himself, smiling softly as he tried to kiss my lips. I hurriedly turned my head to avoid him. With a quick push, I moved to the other side of the bed. Leo paused, then teased me. "Why are you still shy?" I said nothing, pulling the blanket over my head. He scolded me while lifting the blanket away. "Alice, getting bold, huh? Didn't say goodnight last night and dared to turn off your phone to sleep, and now hiding from me?" His hands moved quickly, slipping into my covers. Before I could react, he wrapped me tightly in his arms. "Be good. How many times have I told you? You can't skip breakfast. I went for a half-hour morning run just to bring you your favorite crab yolk buns. You know how long I waited in line for those. Do you want to get up now and eat? Or would you rather be eaten first?" His breath was so close to me, and his hands followed, awakening from the haze. I struggled desperately, but at 6 meters tall, I was no match for a 188-meter man. I really didn't understand what he was thinking. He already has Camila, so why was he teasing me? After a fierce struggle, I was gasping and still couldn't break free. Instead, he held me even tighter. "What's the fuss now? Are you mad? Just because I didn't take you to the party last night?" I said nothing. He buried his head in my neck and laughed. "Let me guess, your best friend tipped you off? It's just a game. Is it really worth being jealous? Why are you still like before, getting sulky whenever I get close to another girl?" I was furious beyond words. Remembering what I learned in military training, I suddenly lifted my knee and kicked him between his legs, then took advantage of his pain to quickly run off the bed. "Alice!" Leo gritted his teeth, his face flushed red. I quickly threw on a jacket over my pajamas and hurried to the living room. I didn't want to stay in the same room with him, especially not my bedroom. After a while, Leo came out looking both angry and helpless. After a moment, as if just remembering, he casually asked, "By the way, you took that medicine yesterday, right? Don't cause any trouble. We can't explain this to your uncle and aunt." Leo walked over to the dining table and handed me a cup of soy milk. "Be good. Eat something first before getting mad. You've always had a weak stomach." I said nothing and didn't take it. Leo's hand holding the soy milk frozen midair for a long time before he finally lost patience. "What's the real reason then?" "Alice, even tantrums need reasons and limits, right?" I replied coldly. "I'm not worthy." Leo also got angry. He slammed the soy milk cup heavily onto the coffee table. He pressed too hard. The plastic cup cracked and the soy milk spilled all over the carpet instantly. "What do you mean by that? Who do you think you are, Alice? We slept together willingly once, and now you want to control me? Do you know how suffocating that feels?" His tone was harsher than ever. In an instant, tears poured down my face without even a moment's warning. The humiliation and grievances from yesterday flooded back all at once. Leo seemed unprepared for my sudden outburst of crying and was momentarily at a loss. He apologetically said, "Sorry, I drank too much last night. I was a bit impulsive just now." He squatted beside me, reaching out to wipe my tears, but I dodged again. He froze, his hand hovering in midair. Just as he was about to continue comforting me, his phone suddenly rang. He glanced at it. His expression changed dramatically, and he immediately got up to leave. "I have something urgent. You calm down by yourself first. You're already in college. Who can stand these childish moods later on?" Chapter 7. Less than half an hour after he left, Luna sent me a screenshot. It was from Camila's Moments. "Another sunny day, just say you're hungry, and magically a loving breakfast appears. It's like a mutual chase with my crush." The picture showed crab roe buns on my dining table, with the exact same packaging. I didn't reply. I quietly wiped my tears and squatted down carefully to clean the soy milk spilled by Leo. After a long time of scrubbing, I sadly realized the stain on the wool carpet had seeped deep into the fibers and couldn't be removed. In a fit of anger, I threw the whole carpet away. After all, it was the one Leo and his parents had chosen and carried all afternoon from Nepal to give me. While at it, I gathered all the things Leo had left at my place. All the gifts big and small he had ever given me. Even every photo of us together. I spent the entire day packing them up and throwing them out. He probably wouldn't want any of that junk anymore. After that day when Leo left, there was no news for several days. I guessed his relationship with the school beauty must be going smoothly. Or maybe he was waiting for me to give in. Every time we had a Cold War before, I was always the first to give in, without exception. But this time I didn't reach out to him, nor did I need to. I blocked him on WeChat and phone, changed my home door code, and deleted all my social media accounts. After all this, I called my parents who were on a business trip and told them I wanted to visit my aunt in the US during summer break. My plan was to go straight to university in Guangzhou with Luna after the summer. Apart from Luna, no one else knew I had applied to a school in Guangzhou. This plan should perfectly avoid any chance of running into Leo. Mom joked on the phone. "Oh, so you're going on vacation with Leo, huh?" I made up an excuse. Didn't want to explain too much. Just told her I wanted to visit my aunt and grandmother. I begged Dad to buy me the nearest flight, and prepared to fly out overnight. When leaving, I unexpectedly ran into Leo's mother at the villa gate. She warmly chatted with me. "Alice, why are you alone here? Didn't Leo come to pick you up? Wasn't he supposed to take you skiing in New Zealand? Have fun. Auntie fully supports you." I was a bit confused. During senior year's preparation, I did mention wanting to ski in New Zealand, to experience winter in the southern hemisphere. But now, with how things are, it's not really appropriate to travel together. Time was running short, so I just gave a few casual replies and left. But to my surprise, I actually ran into Leo at the airport. Chapter 8. He was with a group of friends. Camila was there too. Leo held a woman's bag in one hand, and had his arm around Camila. They walked at the back of the crowd. Occasionally, Camila would lean over to say something to him, and Leo would patiently bend down to listen. Not like us. Leo had always been taller than me since childhood, and got taller over time. When I was with him, I always had to jump and stretch my neck to talk to him. Turns out, for someone you really care about, he would take the initiative to lower himself. I took a deep breath, told myself to keep some pride. How he was with me was none of my business, and I would slap myself if I overthought. But there seemed to be only one way to the boarding gate. I could only follow them from a distance. Finally, we reached a fork in the road. Leo seemed distracted. He made several calls. None answered. He fiddled with his phone for a long while. Then he borrowed a phone from a friend. His face darkened, and went off toward a restroom. Not long after, my phone suddenly rang, an unknown number. "Alice, you're really angry this time. If I don't reach out, you won't either. Huh? You even blocked me? If you've got guts, just don't contact me when we get to Beijing for college. Let's see who's there to look out for you." Leo's tone was harsh, and he scolded me for a long time. I didn't say a word. His words were impossible to respond to, but he sounded even angrier. Not saying more. "Add me back on WeChat right now. I'm about to go abroad with a few friends for a couple days. Might not be able to reach me by phone. Don't cry, all right?" I couldn't be bothered to say a word. I just hung up and turned off my phone. From afar, I saw Leo returning with a scowl. He grabbed Camila's hand and without hesitation, headed to the left boarding gate. I sighed and turned toward the right gate. Chapter 9. In the U.S. Spending leisure time with family. I acted happy. I deliberately kept myself busy, filling days with various activities, trying to avoid empty moments that bred overthinking. I never added Leo back, as he had asked, but Luna and other friends would occasionally update me on Leo's whereabouts. He seemed to have spent many days in New Zealand with friends. For some reason, every day he posted seriously on social media, quite unlike the Leo who would go months without posting. Sometimes videos of him skiing fast down slopes, sometimes pictures of delicious food and wild parties. Most often group photos of friends goofing around at the ski resort, even though I didn't want to follow these updates. Many friends would voluntarily share them with me. They were curious why I hadn't gone to New Zealand with Leo. I didn't know how to explain and simply told family in the US. I was busy, except Luna, who always called Leo a scumbag. Others were hesitant to say much in front of me. I knew they probably saw through it. In every photo Leo posted, he and Camila were always close. almost inseparable, yet the spot beside him for many years had been mine. Whenever I saw these, my face stayed calm, but deep down I couldn't help but feel a pang of pain. It was my first crush, and someone I truly liked for a very long time. In the middle of the night, I would sometimes feel weak and sad, occasionally feel some resentment, but whenever I recalled those hurtful words, I would silently slap myself in the heart, repeatedly reminding myself, Alice, don't be pathetic. Don't make people look down on you. Just endure a bit longer. Hold on. After the withdrawal period passes, everything will surely get better. We were out of contact for a whole month. This was the longest Cold War since I met Leo. Distance and time are a good remedy. I survived the toughest part. When I almost stopped thinking about Leo at all times, he changed his number and called me across the ocean. Chapter 10. Alice, you're pretty bold. Leaving me alone and running off to America, and playing for so long. If you don't come back soon, summer vacation will be over. Have you forgotten the trip you promised to take with me? Perhaps because it had been so long since we last spoke. His complaint carried a hint of caution. I still didn't want to talk to him. Just as I was about to hang up, his aunt grabbed the phone. Alice, are you having fun over there? Leo is such a kid. Never tells me anything. I just found out you two had a fight. Don't take it to heart. When you come back, have him apologize to you face to face. Oh, by the way, Leo received his admission letter today. Yours should be coming soon too. When are you planning to come back for your enrollment celebration? Auntie has a surprise ready for you. Leo's mother had always been kind to me, like a close elder relative. I couldn't bring myself to hang up, so I listened as she chattered on. Auntie, I'm not going to hold an enrollment celebration. My parents are very busy, flying all over the world. Relatives can have a virtual reunion online. I probably won't be back for a while. I'll likely just go directly to school for registration. Before I finished, Leo took back the phone. His breath was heavy. Even across the Pacific I could feel his anger. Alice, I already bowed to you first. How long do you plan to keep sulking? If you don't come back soon, don't blame me for going to Beijing without waiting for you. He coldly threatened, paused, then added, think carefully, don't regret it. I hung up immediately, and blocked that number too. After a while, I planned to go out for a walk, when Mom called me on video. My admission letter had arrived at home. Seeing the name of the school, my parents finally realized I had changed my application. They were very surprised. Alice, why did you change your application without discussing it with us? Does Leo know about this? His mother asked this morning if you'd received your admission letter yet. Dad leaned into the camera worriedly. Sweetheart, we're worried about you going to Guangzhou alone. You hate heat and cockroaches the most. You dare go to Guangzhou? Don't call us to catch cockroaches for you. Ha ha ha. I was speechless. I had no choice but to tell them a bunch of random things about how good the university I was admitted to is now, and made it clear that I would be going with Luna so I'd have someone to look after me. Still, they couldn't let go of their worries. You and Leo had a fight? But you shouldn't just impulsively pick a place so far away. What if you regret it in a few days and want to find Leo again? Where would you go to cry? Yeah, once you're apart. It's 4 years of long distance. You used to fuss about wanting to come back to find Leo even during the half-month summer vacation at Grandma's. The more they said, the worse I felt. So I just explained everything clearly at once. Leo has a girlfriend now. It's not good for me to keep staying so close to him. Mom and Dad, I have my own life. I don't want to live only in his world. So please support my decision and keep it a secret for now. My parents looked at each other in silence for a long time, then finally agreed. They only asked me to come back to China as soon as possible, since the days before school were running out. They wanted to spend more time with me. Chapter 11. Mom told me that after Leo received his admission letter, he went traveling with friends the very next day. He hadn't been home for many days. Leo's mother often asked my mom about my return date. On the day I returned, my parents both came to the airport dressed formally. When I woke up and got out of the car, I found myself at a 5-star hotel. Still dazed, my mom pulled me into the lobby. Right inside, I saw Leo, whom I hadn't seen for a long time. He stopped walking, Leo wore a well-tailored suit and casually stood by the fountain. His tall figure a scenery on its own. Just one vacation. And the boyishness faded a lot. He looked exactly like how I had imagined him growing up. Mixed feelings filled my heart. After avoiding him for so long, this meeting came suddenly. Seeing me stunned, my mom whispered an explanation. Alice, today is Leo's enrollment celebration. It just so happens you arrived in time to come straight here for the party. My dad added. Alice, I thought you didn't want to hold an enrollment party. Leo is thoughtful though. He had his parents schedule the date on the day you returned. So it's like celebrating for both of you. Leo seemed to notice, and as he casually turned his head, our eyes met. My heart skipped a beat, though I had prepared myself mentally to face him after coming back from America. When the moment came, I still felt a bit nervous, but Leo reacted first. Just as he was about to come over to us, Camila suddenly linked arms with him. Camila pulled him along and smiled as she came over to greet me. Alice, little sister, you're back. Great. Today we can finally officially meet. I've always seen you with Leo, although we're in different classes, but I never had the chance to really get to know you. It's really a pity. She was so polite that I couldn't ignore her. I forced a smile and nodded softly. Leo looked a bit awkward. He said awkwardly, what's there to get to know about her? She's just a petty kid who throws tantrums. I thought she ran off to America and wasn't coming back. I didn't respond. I didn't know how to. Camila's silver evening gown sparkled with sequins, making her glow all over, perfectly matching today's Leo. I looked down at myself, a white t-shirt, jeans, canvas shoes, hair messy like I had just rolled out of bed or stopped by a courier station. Suddenly, my mom remembered and leaned close to whisper in my ear, the dress is ready for you. Just go to the makeup room to change later. I nodded, then shook my head. No need. I'm not the main character. Leo kept staring at me with an unreadable expression. Camila's gaze flicked back and forth between me and him. The atmosphere suddenly became strangely quiet. Fortunately, a few friends arrived just then, and Camila immediately pulled Leo away to greet them. She looked every bit the hostess. I quickly took the opportunity to pull my mom into the banquet hall. Chapter 12. Leo only invited close family and friends to this graduation banquet, so there weren't too many people. Friends who recognized me were visibly surprised by my appearance. I just smiled and greeted them, pretending not to know anything, but everyone's gossiping eyes couldn't be hidden. Even when I just went out to the terrace for some fresh air, I could hear a few friends in the hallway grilling Leo, the center of the gossip. For details, wasn't it said that Alice and you had a falling out because of the school bell? And yet she still can't let go and came looking for you again? Leo snorted quietly. She's just throwing a childish tantrum. She'll get over it in a couple of days. We've been together for so many years. There's no way she'd really give me up. One friend sighed. Actually, Alice is pretty good. After all those years together, she always listened to you. We all envy that. One side is a longtime childhood sweetheart, the other a crush-worthy beauty. It's a pity to give up either one. So what do you plan to do? Leo was silent for a moment before answering. To be honest, I do like Alice a lot, but I also feel it's a loss. I'm still so young. How can a man only have one woman for his whole life? That would be so boring. I've got to go out and see the world, but it's fine. As long as I can come home and there's someone there waiting with the light on. The friend fell silent too. After a while, he laughed and punched him lightly. You're such a scumbag. I couldn't listen any longer and quietly walked away. The evening breeze blew, and I couldn't help but sniffle, my eyes watering again. I cursed myself for being blind before, for choosing the wrong person. Chapter 13. My mood was absolutely terrible at this banquet. Leo's mother was especially happy to see me and kept fussing over me at the dining table. Alice, once you get to Beijing it's very dry. Tomorrow let Leo take you shopping for lots of moisturizing skincare. No need. Auntie, Beijing has lots of malls, and online shopping is very convenient. She smiled in agreement and then told my mom, when I was preparing bedding sets and such for Leo's dorm. I also prepared Alice's, for all 4 seasons. Northern winters are especially cold, so I chose thick ones, and bought several down jackets. You work a lot, so you don't have to worry about preparing anything for Alice. My mom felt a little awkward since these things would be mostly useless in Guangzhou, but not wanting to embarrass her, she politely thanked her. Camila looked very displeased nearby, but Leo's mother didn't seem to care and continued to give instructions to Leo and me. When you two get to Beijing, you'll be the closest people to each other. Leo must take good care of Alice and not make her angry. Understand? Leo glanced at me with disdain. Humph. She's quite independent. She doesn't need me to take care of her. She can fly on her own. The atmosphere got a little awkward, but Camila suddenly interrupted. Auntie, my school is also in Beijing. Don't worry. I'll take good care of Leo in the future. Besides, Alice is far away in Guangzhou, which isn't very convenient, right? Before she finished, Leo and his parents' expressions changed. Guangzhou? They all looked at me in unison and asked. Camila was surprised. Leo, don't you know? The honor roll is posted at school. Oh right. You hardly ever go to school. Everyone stared at me, under the pressure. I silently nodded. My mom helped explain. Alice suddenly changed her college choice at the last minute. She wants to study in Guangzhou. That university is also very good, and it's a major she likes. Leo didn't believe it. He grabbed my hand and confirmed again. Alice, didn't you fill in the same university as me? I saw you fill out the application myself. His grip hurt my hand, and I couldn't help but get angry. Yes, I'm going to Guangzhou. What business is it of yours? Leo was incredulous, then laughed. You must be joking. You, who jump on me the moment you see a cockroach, dare to go to Guangzhou? I took out my phone album, found the high-res photo of the admission notice, and showed it to him. Leo held the phone, zooming in and out several times, then ironically laughed. Amid the gasps of everyone around, he roughly pulled me out of the banquet hall. Chapter 14. He dragged me into the lounge and closed the door behind us. Leaning against the door, Leo pressed me with no chance to escape. Alice, you're really something. To spite me, you even forgot our agreement and ran off to Guangzhou to study? I lifted my head, summoning courage. I confronted him. I have my own thoughts. Why do I have to live my life according to your preferences? Leo, be honest with yourself. Are you angry because I broke our agreement? Or because I'm no longer your warm bed? Leo's face turned pale. What do you mean? Don't say things so harshly. We're adults. That night, wasn't it consensual? Are you still hung up on that night? I felt embarrassed but stubbornly met his gaze. Leo, if you like someone else, just say it openly. I won't shamelessly cling to you. But you obviously don't like me. Yet you watch me flutter to you like a moth to a flame. That feels good, doesn't it? He still didn't understand. If people don't burn through all their hopes, they won't say goodbye. His face flushed from white to red and he almost lost balance. What are you saying? Listen to yourself, you. He stammered and trailed off. Alice, we've known each other since we were 8. Now we're 18. If you choose to betray this relationship, then we're done as friends too. With that, he left those words behind and ran away from the hotel. Chapter 15. From that day until the day I left for school registration, I never saw Leo again. Luna sent me his official announcement of the new relationship on social media, and I didn't even open it before deleting. I also blocked all friends related to him. There really is no need to follow anything about him anymore. Only on the day I went to Guangzhou, I had the bad luck to run into Leo again at the airport, and Camila was still by his side. As he passed by, he just greeted my parents briefly and then walked off angrily. He didn't look at me once. We quickly separated, and neither of us looked back. Before boarding, I glanced to the side and just happened to see Leo boarding too. He gave me a cold glance and disappeared into the gate without looking back. The person who had been by my side since youth was now truly gone for good. Finally, we're no longer on the same path. So from now on, I silently wished him well. Chapter 16. After that, for a very long time, we didn't hear from each other. I specifically told my parents not to mention anything about Leo's family in front of me. I met many new friends in the new environment and joined many clubs, keeping myself busy every day. The previous unhappiness was long forgotten. The life that once revolved around one person really was very dull. Thinking about this, I even started to agree with Leo's view. The world is so vast. Life is so long. Why bind yourself to one person so early? I'm glad I chose a school in a place without harsh winters, although the rainy and typhoon seasons are annoying, and there are many cockroaches. But I can see beautiful flowers all year round, and I soon forget what winter looks like. On New Year's Day, a high school classmate came to Guangzhou for a trip, and Luna and I took her out for dim sum. She casually mentioned Leo, said he had already broken up with Camila, and on Academy Road with so many universities. He dated at each one, several times. He acted like a carefree player. Leo is completely different from the cold top student he used to be in class. Like a totally different person. If you see him now, you probably wouldn't even recognize him. I said nothing. Luna kept giving her a look and changed the topic. And the classmate didn't mention it again. We counted down the new year by the Pearl River, and Luna asked me to make a wish. Only after making it did I realize it was the first wish I made that had nothing to do with him. In my brief life, 6 years of my wishes were all about Leo. I was very happy. I had truly let go. During my first winter vacation at university, I missed my parents terribly. After exams, I rushed home immediately, but I didn't expect Leo to be there with my parents, waiting for me at the airport. Chapter 17. After half a year apart, when I saw Leo again, we had both changed a lot. He was thinner, had dyed his hair, but of course still looked as handsome as before. I've always been bad at reading people, but at least I have a good sense of aesthetics. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been following behind him so foolishly all those years. After a brief pause, I smiled and walked over to greet him generously. Brother, you're here too. Leo's hand froze midair as he took my luggage, staring at me in disbelief. Since childhood, both families had insisted I call him brother. I stubbornly never did. But now, with a different mindset, it came out naturally. Leo seemed to find it hard to accept. Long after, he shakily took my luggage. My mom quietly explained in my ear, "We came out to pick you up and happened to run into Leo at the entrance. He insisted on helping." I smiled and told her it was fine. In the car, I eagerly shared recent school anecdotes with my parents, making them laugh non-stop. No one paid attention to Leo, but out of the corner of my eye, I noticed a faint smile on his lips the entire time. That day, he seemed to want to visit my house, but the three of us politely declined. During the entire winter break, I practiced driving daily, leaving early and coming back late, and often hung out with some high school friends at night. I heard Leo had come to look for me several times but always missed me. I was a little surprised. I didn't feel there was anything we needed to talk about. This year, both my grandmother and aunt came home for the new year. On New Year's Eve night, the house was especially lively. After dinner, the elders watched the Spring Festival Gala on the sofa, and the younger generation learned to play mahjong. Leo's family of 3 suddenly came to visit my house with lots of bags. Chapter 18. Our house is too quiet. Mind if we come to join your mahjong game? Leo's mom joked. In past years, our two families always spent the Spring Festival together. This year, because of my relationship with Leo, my mom refused Leo's mom's invitation to dinner. But when guests come, you can't just send them away. Leo naturally sat beside me and watched me play. My cousins didn't know about our relationship and kept teasing us. I smiled and clarified one by one. Leo's expression was somewhat sour. At midnight, when we went outside to set off fireworks, he grabbed my hand, seeming like he wanted to say something, but my phone suddenly rang. My face flushed as I pulled away from Leo's hand and went aside to answer. It was a local Guangzhou classmate I met in a club, named Ryan. He was also good-looking, not the aloof type, but a funny boy who loved to laugh. He talked a lot and was very witty. I often laughed until I couldn't straighten up. He called just because he was bored and wanted to count down New Year's Eve with us. I didn't think much and let him join our countdown. Before hanging up, he chuckled. "Actually, I just wanted to be the first to wish you a happy new year after midnight." "Happy New Year, Alice." I smiled happily and returned the wishes. We chatted for a while more, and when he finally hung up, I turned around and saw Leo standing behind me with a cold face. He must have been listening for a while. "Boyfriend?" he asked hoarsely. "Not yet. I thought for a moment and answered honestly. Leo was silent for a long time. I thought he had nothing else to say and planned to go back to the living room to continue playing mahjong. But he suddenly spoke again. Guys from out of town aren't always reliable. You should find a local one you know well. I nodded. That's true. You can never really know a person just by looking at them. I'll observe a bit more. Thanks for the reminder. Brother Leo, you should find someone soon, too. Leo seemed hurt by something and didn't say more. He left the yard directly. I didn't think much. His mood swings weren't new. Afterwards, I visited relatives with grandma and parents, and traveled a lot by car, barely staying home. I didn't run into Leo. Winter break was short, and I soon returned to school. But the next day, I actually saw Leo at the university gate. Chapter 19. He looked haggard, and anyone who didn't know would think something serious had happened. Brother Leo, what are you doing here? I wanted to see what your university is like, and also check how you're doing in Guangzhou. I smiled and answered, very well. There's a lot of good food here. If you have time, you can look up some guides and try it yourself. He seemed a bit embarrassed and didn't reply. Then he said, Alice, can you accompany me for a meal? Just once. Before I could respond, a boy interrupted. Sorry, handsome, but I already asked Alice out first. You'll have to wait your turn next time. Ryan walked over nervously and stood between Leo and me. Their eyes met and sparks flew. Alice, you came back to school early just for him? Leo's tone was hard to read. I didn't know what he was thinking, but there was no need to explain anything. Sorry, Brother Leo. We're going to eat now. Bye. I nudged Ryan, who was still standing frozen. Let's go. Didn't you say we're going to a farm restaurant to eat free-range chicken? The road is long. Hurry up. Ryan followed me, but shot Leo a glare. At the traffic light, I looked back. Leo stood by the school gate staring at us, looking especially lonely under the tree shade. Chapter 20. I don't remember where I heard it, but after a breakup, a woman usually comes out of the slump in about a month, whereas a man may take much longer to realize what he's lost, and then his emotions start to surge back. Leo's emotional backlash seemed to come too late. After playing the field for half a year and then being silent for a winter break, he suddenly started appearing frequently around me. I don't know what excuse he used to ask for leave from school, but he kept popping up in Guangzhou. He began sending me all kinds of gifts, flowers, bags, jewelry, all of which I refused. When he had nothing to do, he would squat under my dorm building and refuse to leave no matter how much I tried to persuade him. If he was around, he'd accompany me to classes and to the cafeteria for meals every day. Ryan got so irritated by him that he often sighed and complained to me. Sometimes he made jealous remarks that made me laugh and cry at the same time. Leo's mother also called and messaged me many times, saying the school was contacting parents because Leo was skipping too many classes. If this continued, he might have to repeat a year or even be expelled. She pleaded earnestly that I try to persuade Leo properly. I was extremely annoyed and couldn't understand what Leo was thinking. He once was determined to go out and see the world, but now he was back acting all sentimental. I decided to confront him directly. Leo knew why I came and lost control of his emotions instantly. Alice, why is it that others can pursue you, but I can't? How long has he known you? How many years have we known each other? Besides your parents, no one understands you better than me, and no one is more suitable for you. I couldn't help but laugh in anger and retorted, Leo, have you really forgotten what you once did? Be honest with yourself. Have you ever seriously valued my true feelings? You just enjoyed the superiority of me chasing after you, thinking no matter how you treated me, I'd never leave, and you could play with my heart as you pleased. Leo was hit hard and his defenses broke down. Yes, I made mistakes back then. I was too young and thought the world was full of temptations. I didn't want to be controlled by just you. I owe you a proper apology. Alice, I'm sorry. He looked sincere and softened his tone, begging me, but even if you see me as a stranger, I still have the right to pursue you again. After leaving, I realized I'm not used to life without you, and I can't imagine sharing anything in the future with anyone else. The river breeze was strong, making my head ache. After a long moment of quiet thought, I answered, to be honest, since leaving you, I've realized that mutual love doesn't need to be so cautious and accommodating. I can be myself openly. My emotions aren't swayed by others' wills. And suddenly I found, perhaps that foolish love in our youth was just immaturity. Leo froze as if struck by lightning. After a long pause, he whispered with extreme sadness, "But we promised to go to college together, study abroad together, and travel the world together. Are you going to break those promises too?" I was a little dazed, nodding and then shaking my head. "You broke the promises first, and I've already found someone I want to do those things with." Leo started to break down, tears welling at the corners of his eyes. "Please, Alice, don't say anymore. I beg you. Stop." Looking at his defeated and hurt expression, I couldn't help but say one last thing. "Maybe you didn't really love me. You're just unwilling to let go. Leo, maybe it's time you moved on." I didn't wait for a reply. Ryan had been waiting for me across the river. I ran over, and he immediately took my hand. "Finally got rid of your ex. Huh? Did you tell him that from now on, I'm in charge of all your cockroaches, and he can't touch a single one?" I smiled through tears, almost crying. I glanced back at Leo, still frozen by the riverbank. People come and go on the street. Some meet again, some say goodbye, but he and I finally parted ways like the rain, never to meet again.